Greetings and welcome everybody to the Beers and Bodyslams podcast. Sitting across from me, who is the man that was 2 seats away from becoming the tag team partner for Braun Strowman at WrestleMania. Good old JB.
And sitting to my left, the man whose outlook is always sunny side up, Mr. Fluffy.
Oh, that's nice.
Is that a sunny joke?
And sitting across from me, the man that is going to get drafted to the Martha Stewart podcast next week.
Oh,
Irish.
Because Shizzle going to get my nizzle on the fizzle
That's
to the
right.
Martha
We're
Stewizzle.
going to trade you for a crochet person.
Sweet. Great. Well, that's awesome. I appreciate that. Almost making me wish I had taken this week off. We've got I think we have a really good show. It's a little surly already. We got a great show, really. The Raw and Smackdown after WrestleMania are probably the 2 biggest shows of the year. Did they produce? Did they not? We've got news, we've got rumors, and we've got a phenomenal beer. All and so much more when we come right back. This is the Beers and Bodyslams podcast.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
With your host, Mr. Fluffy.
Hello, ladies.
Good old JB.
Booty-O's! They make sure you ain't booty.
And the Irish O'Leary.
There's only one word to describe you, and I'm gonna spell it out for you. A-A-W-S-T.
This is the only podcast bringing you craft beer and pro wrestling that really matters.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, E-Generation X proudly brings to you its WWF Tag Team Champion of the World, the Road Dogg Jesse James, the Badass Billy Gunn, the new.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
All right, Fluff, what are we drinking?
We are drinking from the fine people of Tavour, a great beer service that I subscribe to and Irish subscribes, or JB subscribes to.
I'm working on
Irish
it.
is signing up for.
Yep.
I'm drinking from Illuminated Brew Works in Chicago, Illinois.
Chi-Town.
A spoonful of sugar.
It's an interesting name.
It is a double dry hopped IPA. It's a double dry hop double IPA. So it's a double.
Double, oil and trouble.
With lactase sugars. So it's got the same sugars they usually put in milk stouts and stuff like that to give you. It's creamy too.
Yeah, it is.
It is a double as normal. It's not super hoppy. As usually doubles and triple IPAs are not insanely hoppy. The alcohol content kind of cut it down. But this one's just smooth and creamy and flavorful and holy crap.
It's really good.
Yeah, totally
I don't say that
good.
about IPAs often.
I know it. Yeah, if you'd have said, "Hey, why don't you try this?" I would have had a drink of it, and you said, "Did you know it's an IPA?" I'd be like, "You're lying to me."
Yeah.
Like you
It
can
doesn't
see
even-
the bottle as I pour out the last of the remnants. There is like a remnants left in it from the sugars.
Yeah.
And it is the haziest
It is. It looks like a float.
IPA I've ever seen.
Honestly,
and beyond, it's like a New England IPA.
It looks like an orange juice cocktail. Is
Could
what
be.
it looks like. It looks like like
Grapefruit
a
juice or something.
grapefruit orange juice and vodka. You know, that's what it looks like. But man, the taste is incredible.
Oh my God.
It's got a pleasant fruity aftertaste. It really truly is Mary Poppins, y'all.
Yeah, it's unreal. Spoonful of sugar. If you can find it in your area,
Get it.
Go out and get it. It is Jesus. It's good. It's only 8%, so it's not a beer that's going to knock you on your butt. And sad that I say that at 8%, it's not going to kill you, but
We're all alcoholics.
professionals, ladies
yeah,
and
exactly.
Do not try this at home.
Exactly.
I've had that discussion before. I'm like, I'll have a beer, and they're like, "Well, what is that?" I'm like, "Oh, and it's like 7 or 8%." And they're like, "That's really strong." I'm like, "No." I'm like, most of the stuff in my fridge starts at 8% and goes
Yeah.
from there. They're like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I've got stuff in my fridge 15%." I'm like, "It's brutal. There's some brutal stuff in there." Yeah. But it's fun though. But thank you
Great
so
beer.
much from Illuminated Brew Works. We will talk more about them as we go along in the show.
Yep.
But it's I hope you all listened to our show from Monday. If you have not gone back and listened to the exhausted program of ramble that we did of WrestleMania recap. Go back and listen, please. And I listened to it. It is hysterical.
And the sad thing is we weren't drunk.
No, we were just exhausted.
We were 7 hours in. I could only imagine what the people inside of the Mercedes-Benz Superdome.
Because we stopped drinking pretty decently because of that reason, because we knew the show was going long. And we're like, all right, we got to record. So we all kind of backed off a little bit. And by the time we recorded, we were just exhausted.
I just remember looking at the clock before the Brock Lesnar match, and it was like 11:30, and I'm like, "Oh my god,
this is a 5-hour show.
We're gonna be here forever." You know how the crowd chants "Fight Forever."
Yeah.
We were not thinking that.
No.
We wanted to go home.
But being that, obviously, the Raws and SmackDown after WrestleMania are the beginning of the new year for wrestling.
Yeah,
WWE admits that WrestleMania is the end of the year. That this is the start of their push for the next year. That's their bring. So this is the episodes where they bring up people. They do a lot of returns and stuff like that. So let's go right into that. Let's talk about the people that came back, the people that debuted on both shows.
Let's do it.
On Raw, first up, we had Ember Moon come out and tag with Nia Jax. And I'm excited.
She looked
amazing.
She looks amazing. She pulled her corkscrew stunner off of a different ring post, so we got a different view of it. It looked amazing. I love her new hair job, and she's just gorgeous. She's really gorgeous.
She's a boost of energy to the division,
especially on Raw.
She had a couple of botches in the match itself, but I attribute that to nerves, possibly, or whatnot. But she looks good. It's a different dynamic for that division. I don't know,
I want her and Sasha.
Who's going to come?
I want her and Sasha.
Who's going to come and go? But that would be a good feud.
That's what I want.
Her
like I don't
Sasha
want it
would be
right
good.
now,
down the road.
but like eventually,
SummerSlam-ish.
I want Sasha versus Ember.
that'd be
I didn't even. It doesn't even need to be for the belt. It just needs something.
No,
but
they don't need that.
Ember versus Sasha, I think will tear the house down.
Yeah, and Ember. Dadgummit, something's in my eye. I can't speak. Ember Moon. I don't know. Something. It was in my eye, and my mouth couldn't form the words. My brain is actually shutting off. Ember coming off a hellaciously great loss, unfortunately, at Takeover.
Oh yeah,
it was such a great match, but it was really, violent. And then she came out and it was just a lot of pickup. Yeah. Her song, her look, her intro,
very unique,
so good.
And when she lost on Takeover, I'm like, she's coming.
I was hoping so,
because I'm like, the only reason you take the belt off of her is to move her up, because they have very few 2-time champions for that reason. It's you win it, and once you lose it, you're ready to go.
I think her first feud will be the most important one. It kind of sets the tone for her debut. So I don't think they can put her in a meaningless feud. I'm almost thinking they're going to put her with Alexa.
Possibly.
After she gets her rematch with Nia.
Could be.
That shaping up to look like that may be the way.
And there'd be nothing wrong with that either.
No, yeah.
I think the two of them can definitely run with each other.
So let me ask you this crazy question. Do you think she'll get a rematch with the girl from NXT just for the sake of we get a chance to say goodbye to her?
No, they don't usually do that
They
anymore.
did that with...
they do.
Not always. Very rarely.
Bobby Roode went back and he lost.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think so. I think she's
I don't even know who's the next up and coming women over there in NXT.
There's a couple that are possible.
I don't see why they wouldn't do it.
The girl with the hair flip.
She may make I
can't remember her. The UT grad with the hair flip, and then you've got a whole lot of people.
Nikki Cross.
Nikki Cross.
Yeah, Nikki Cross.
Possibly.
You've got a whole lot of people that need to make a name for themselves.
Yeah.
Then up we had the debut of No Way Jose. No Way Jose. No Way Jose. Or they're turning him into already Adam Rose 2.0.
No. No Way Jose is a person of color who smiles and dances.
Of course.
With an entourage.
With an entourage.
So
not,
Adam
not
Rose,
some bloke blimey.
Exactly. He was a UK guy who danced.
Yeah. This guy's guaranteed to go over big because he checks off all the tick marks for WWE.
He's good in the ring though.
He is.
He's good in the ring.
He's bigger than I like as far as his stature.
That's what she said.
No,
sorry,
nobody I know, but he looks like, at first when I browsed NXT back in the day, and I've only seen him maybe twice. He's a lot more physical.
He's bulked
in
up.
appearance
he's bulked up.
than I thought he would be.
I'd say the last 6 months.
Even his height. What is he, about 6'2"?
Yeah, the last 6 months though, he's definitely put on some muscle because I remember that when he first started, he was not.
I was about to say I didn't
muscular.
remember him being that.
He wasn't, and I think in the last 6 months, and that may have been
What got
what
him
they
up
told
there?
him. They may have told him, "Hey, we like you, but we want you to be a little bit more muscular, a little more shaped, and maybe that's what the work was."
Yeah, able to withstand some of those bumps. I mean, that's part of the reason why he put on the bulk.
Yeah,
But that's also why he's been off of NXT for so long. He's bulked up. So when he came out, I was
Gotcha.
like, whoa.
Yeah, I was when I saw him, I was like, I don't remember him being that, physical in stature.
but he's a guy that has that. He, like Adam Rose when he had potential, has that both ways thing. He can play No Way Jose as the fun party guy and the crowd loves him, or he can play as the cocky, arrogant ass and the crowd hates him for it. He can really go both ways with the same gimmick and get away with
I
it.
kind of like the fact that he's not too bubbly as far as his character. Like when the bell rings, he actually flipped a switch and got serious. And
he's always been that
he
way.
has that mean streak
Yeah.
once he gets in the ring, and I kind of like that dynamic and that contrast.
And to be fair, Adam Rose always had potential.
No, it wasn't his fault. It just wasn't written right.
He wasn't booked
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
and his gimmick was not great.
No. Yeah.
The gimmick that he had prior to the Adam Rose character was really, really good. The South African
bounty
warlord.
hunter. Yeah, I know. All right. Then also we had the debut of the Authors of Pain.
Jeez. They walked in. I was like, "Oh God, those guys are big."
I
Heath
gotta admit,
Slater was like, "What did
Heath
I
Slater
do
was
to
like,
deserve this?"
"I have kids, man. I mean, come on."
they
man.
destroyed
Oh, yeah.
Rhino and Slater.
man.
I mean, obliterated.
And Rhino was a big dude. They made him look like a little 205 Live competitor.
That is a team that is going to run through that tag team division.
Yeah.
If they're booked
If they're booked
correctly,
correctly.
because we
Correctly.
said the same thing about the Ascension.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing with the Ascension is what I think killed them partly was the goofy aspects of their gimmick. Whereas the Authors of Pain just kick the shit out of you. They don't have the face makeup. They don't have the weird. They just
Well,
come
they
out.
weren't goofy when they first came up.
No, I know
Ascension.
that. I know that. But I'm saying is, but I want to see them go out there and just.
So do you
it.
think they need Paul, or is it run his course with him?
I think it's run its course.
Okay.
They'll have the same problem with their gimmick as the dude Aleister Black does, because their gimmick is virtually the same thing.
Yeah.
This occultist.
Yeah.
But they had a great squash match. They should keep having squash matches.
Yeah.
Who can go against those two guys? I don't think there's anybody. I mean, they
Actually, them in the bar would be a very physical match.
Them and the club would be good together
if they booked the club right.
booked the club right. They'd
Even
be good.
even the Revival, if they were to turn face.
Yeah.
the thing about those two guys,
the Authors of Pain is
Akam and Rizard, they've come such a long way. The last big match that I remember them really showcasing a lot of their talent, not that the last takeover wasn't great,
Oh my God, that three-way match was insane.
was War Games.
Yeah.
War Games is when I was like, wow, those guys really can
Yeah.
make it believable. These little dudes are kicking the crap out
Yeah,
of them.
I don't want to say I sold out on them, but when I first started watching them, I was like, all right, I don't think this is going to make it. And they have won me over.
Well, what I didn't know with them is that they have an amateur wrestling background.
Yeah, and that's what helps.
I didn't know that when I first started watching them, and when they told me that, I was like, "Okay, well, it makes sense how fluid they are with their moves. They move well for their size."
And they definitely picked up some speed too.
Oh, yeah.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
They move.
Yes,
So-
that helped.
We also had some big returns on Raw. We had the return of Jeff Hardy. Brother Nero, Jeff Hardy.
I don't even know
Why?
if I want him involved in that.
I don't think he's.
family dynamic.
I don't think
Brother
he's going
Nero.
I don't think he's
thing.
going to. I think that was a one-time shot, and I think that's over.
I think from a nostalgia, he got over more on his own than the Hardy Boys did.
Yeah.
He could go out there and do his own thing as a singles guy and separate himself from Matt's character, because that's Matt's thing.
Yeah.
And, I don't think Jeff really even wants to be put into that. It just doesn't fit his personality per se.
That whole segment in the back with him.
It's kind of weird.
With him.
Cringeworthy.
Yeah.
No, I liked it with him and Seth and Finn when they're like, what the
No,
hell
yeah, I
was
mean,
that?
it was-
That was funny.
Yeah.
And even Jeff's like, oh.
I just work here.
I just work here. So Bobby Lashley returned.
Still looks good shape.
Yep.
42. I didn't realize he was that old.
I didn't realize he was the only leader. Wait a minute, 42?
He's 42 years
Oh, I thought he was
old.
in his 30s.
42, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
Sorry, Apollo Crews.
And
Titus.
And
Who else is over there?
who else do we have over there that's a big African American dude?
Well, that's pretty much the quota. Those
That's
two.
it. Yep, there you go. All right.
But yeah, I think they'll keep Titus around, but I don't see Lash. I mean, I don't see. I don't see what's Apollo.
I'm telling you guys, if they were to do a Nation of Domination type of deal,
It would be great.
it would be phenomenal. I mean, it would be so good. It'd be totally good. But there's just the way they're booked. There's just no distinction.
Yeah,
You know,
and that's the problem.
They look different. You
Yeah.
know, because they're people. They look different.
clearly.
But there's no Titus, big dude, bald.
They don't showcase
muscles.
their personalities.
Apollo, big dude, bald,
Just shorter.
with a beard.
Yeah.
You know, Bobby Lashley, no hair at all, but he
Yeah.
wears a nice little headband, looking good.
Well, I'm going to give you some foreshadowing, some billboarding now. On next Monday, we're going to do our picks for who we think that should go to SmackDown and Raw for the shakeup.
Yeah.
And that conversation is going to come as one of my picks. So
Okay.
it'll all be connected. And I just want to give you a foreshadowing on that one.
Well, I'm going to give my Paul Heyman spoiler alert for Bobby Lashley.
So
he's going to be fighting Brock Lesnar very soon.
Very quickly. Very quickly.
we also had the return of Samoa Joe.
That promo was something serious.
Oh my God, he is so good on the mic.
I'm a believer now.
The way he talks, this is when he comes out and goes, "Everybody get out your tinfoil hats." Roman Reigns thinks there's a conspiracy. I'm like, that was awesome.
That was my line of the night until later on.
He's gonna,
That was amazing.
after he gets thrown around by Brock, I'm going to put you to sleep.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, just that was crazy fun. Like, I'm so happy he's back. He is so good on the mic. I kind of want Roman to win the belt now, just so the two of them can go at it for the belt.
Who cares if he's got a belt? Let's have them go at it.
Oh, they're going
Oh,
at
they
it.
are.
Why do we have to have one of them have the belt?
Because I just want it off of Brock, but that's beside the point.
Well, that's not going to happen
Good luck
anytime
now.
soon.
Now, those were the Raw returns and debuts. SmackDown was a little disappointing, not for who came out, just the fact that we only had two. Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, the iconic duo, made their debut. As Charlotte was having her celebration in the ring with what had to be the biggest neck piece I've ever seen.
Jeez,
Yeah.
Pete.
That thing was huge.
And she was getting radio signals
Got
from Guam.
her money's worth out of that.
Like
deal.
I'm wondering if she was using it to bring sound into her. Like she was like
She could hear people bitching in the third row and right near the ceiling.
or she was like one of those
like
dinosaurs.
oversized neck brace.
She was one of the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park that spit the goo. Like that's how it was weird. And then on camera, especially on the big TVs and HD TVs, and it was rainbowing.
Really
it was
weird.
like really rainbowing.
Yeah.
But they came out. Now, I'm gonna say this. So Charlotte struck first though. They were talking to her.
Smart.
Charlotte hit first, and then they beat the shit out of her.
Yes, Charlotte took her second
Oh my God.
bump onto the concrete from a substantial height.
Oh my God.
I don't think she wants to make a habit out of
Her
doing
back
that.
is very flat and straight now.
But but that was a beating.
Yeah, it was good. Looked
that
good.
was beating. But because of that, as the iconic duo were walking up the ramp, we had the moment we've been waiting for a while. Carmella came down, cashed in. Now, what was weird is the ref asking Charlotte, "Are you ready to go?" That's not how Money in the Bank works. That annoyed me when he asked, "Are you?"
Why was he
okay?"
taking so long?
I don't know, and that's what annoyed me.
That whole leading up to when the bell rang.
Yeah.
That
That
felt
was
like
like
it was.
he was stalling for Charlotte or something.
Yeah,
that was the
it was
weirdest
weird.
thing I've seen.
Because I'm thinking, because that's not how it's worked in the past. Every
Yeah.
other person that's ever cashed in, they literally ran in, handed the briefcase, the bell rang, and the match
It's like
started.
he didn't want to do it. And he kept looking at her like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah. Like, are
Like,
you
what-
sure? Charlotte, are you okay?
She's
No,
like, ring the damn bell, idiot.
it doesn't matter if she's okay. That's not
She's
how
like-
Money in the Bank works.
She's like, "What are you talking about?"
It was very awkward, and I don't know if he got his messages crossed.
I think so. That was a newer of the referees. That was one of the guys I hadn't seen a ton of. So maybe
I'm sure he got his conversation with Vince at the,
Yeah,
at
because
the end of that.
Because I'm thinking back to like when Ziggler cashed in. He ran out against Del Rio, walked in, handed the briefcase, and they just rang the bell, and then Ziggler beat him. I mean, there should have been no time delay between them.
Well, I'm wondering. The first thought that I had when I saw how weird that was is if she grabbed the wrong guy. Like she grabbed the wrong ref.
Could be. Could
Possibly,
be.
but-
He looked confused.
Yeah, like, oh crap, you grabbed me. You're not supposed to grab me. You're supposed to grab that guy. But okay, are you ready to go? You could ring the bell. That's what it felt like to me. I think I'd love to find out the whole story behind it, but she was screaming so loud, I was having Melina flashbacks.
Yeah. But I will say, it was a good cash-in. It was the perfect cash-in match you want in that situation.
See, I don't like it.
One kick and you're done. And why? That's what Money in the Bank's for, though.
I understand that. You can still, like, it's the same thing every time. It's somebody gets beat down, you come in and take advantage. I understand that part, but let's make both of them look good. Charlotte just beat Asuka, right? Let her at least go down fighting. Let her get to her feet, at least get in a couple of offensive moves, build Carmella up. Hey, I overcame, the fight that you put up, and I ended up, and just let her go over.
Right.
Have her take it. It doesn't have to be a long match, but at least let Charlotte put up a fight. It makes her look even stronger. Hey, I just got the shit kicked out of me, and I'm still putting up a fight trying to defend my title against Carmella.
Yeah.
Carmella can, do something to take advantage of her injury, quote unquote, and then overcome that to kind of just wear her down type of deal. But, the one kick, one punch, one move, pin, it just kind of played out to me. I like to see something different.
Well, I mean, that's why I think,
but I'm just splitting hairs. But I mean, at the same time, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see the same. I don't want to see the same cash in concept.
Well, that's
every
why
time.
I think that's why like Seth Rollins especially is such an iconic one now, because it wasn't that.
Yeah.
He came into the match at a point, added himself to the match, had to do several things
Yeah, that's what I want to see.
to get it, and then won the match anyways. Like, so it wasn't like, because this was a squash in every way.
Yeah, so let me ask you this question. Do you have any problem with the way they did it? Meaning exactly what you said. Charlotte beat Asuka's streak.
Yes.
And we talked about on WrestleMania night, I didn't like how they did that because they swept that under the carpet really quick to get to the whole Cena storyline. And then now Charlotte comes out, and I get the double beatdown makes total sense.
Yeah.
I mean, she's one person
Yeah.
going up against two. I totally get it. I have no problem with that. And then all of a sudden, it's just like this one kick, boom, I'm done.
And
you just got done with the war with Asuka. There's no, why? Okay, so it begs the question: was that what they were thinking the whole time? We're going to beat the streak. Sorry. We're going to beat the streak, and then we're going to let her lose the belt on Tuesday.
Well, yeah, I have my theory. Like they definitely that was what they want to do. I think that they had to make a decision. I think this is long term for Ronda Rousey. They had to decide: are we going to go with Asuka or Charlotte for her big match, either SummerSlam or next WrestleMania? So I think when they made the call to have Charlotte break the streak, they decided she's going to be the one to face Ronda Rousey, whatever time in case.
Asuka is going to be the one?
No. Charlotte. By her winning, I think that sets up her and Ronda next Mania, SummerSlam, whatever the big pay-per-view is for that.
I've heard a rumor they're going to headline Mania next year.
So
I've heard
so
that rumor
what
too.
I'm saying, I think it came down to either Asuka or Charlotte was going to be the one to face Ronda. So when they made the call for Charlotte to win, that was setting up next year. But by her winning that, beating the streak, okay, we gave you this. Now you got to give us, we're going to take the title off of you. But to your point, you pulled yourself up on the ropes. So you got to your feet. Have her spear Carmella. Carmella kicks out of the spear. A desperation spear.
It could have been a little weak spear.
Carmella kicks out, and it gives her a little bit of credibility.
I could have seen that.
At the same time, and it looks Charlotte look a little bit stronger. Just
The other thing,
minor thing for
I
me.
will say, the one thing I didn't like is and this is a commentary thing, is I don't think the commentators made it big enough a deal out of the idea that, number one, Charlotte was attacked by two people, and that she just went through a war the night before, and she was. They never even mentioned that. Like, that's what I want to hear. Is I want to hear, Carmella won, but that wasn't Charlotte. Charlotte just went through hell and back and then got beat down.
Yeah.
Carmella better watch herself. That wasn't Charlotte, because sometimes they don't do that stuff, but I'm like, that's the piece you need.
But that's what Charlotte was doing in the ring.
Yeah.
She was providing that narrative to remind everybody. But again, if I'm Carmella, I'm kind of pissed because she didn't win the Money in the Bank the right way the first time. Second time was okay, I guess. But now her win is tainted because she had to have two other people beat the hell out of Charlotte. and she hasn't been used for the last 3 months.
Oh yeah, that's the problem.
That's the problem. Is that there was no build up for her,
Right.
other than the fact that everybody knew she had the briefcase. But like I said, that would have been the perfect moment to just give her a little bit of credibility.
Sure.
I kicked out of your spear, whatever the case, whatever move, natural selection, whatever.
Right.
And then I overcame that to beat you, even though you were injured. So, both of them look strong in the process. And I just think it was a little cop out.
Yeah.
All right.
Next.
We're going to move on to headlines now.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about before I do that, I do want to once again thank our friends at Tavor for sending me the Illuminated Brew Works Spoonful of Sugar.
Now, do we know if it's Tavor or Tavour?
It's Tavor.
Tavor.
It is Tavor.
Tavor.
It's Tavor. That's at least all the pronunciations I've read. I've heard.
Sweet.
I've checked it several times.
That's what we're going with.
That's what we're going with.
We're going until we've been corrected. We're
That's
going
right.
with Tavor.
All right. Brock Lesnar resigns. That's the first big news that broke right after Mania during Raw that he is re-signed. That is why he won. Now, there's stories now coming out that apparently there was a confrontation in the back after the main event.
I'm sure there was.
That Vince was pissed
On
at
several
Brock
fronts.
because he broke open Roman Reigns. And that apparently Shane was the one that got in Brock's face to protect his father.
Well, there was. No,
He is
they say he
stupid.
went off. They said he went off script, and also during the argument, he threw the belt.
Yep.
It was the reports were either at Vince or against the wall.
Yeah.
And then Shane kind of jumped in to make sure it didn't become more than just words exchanged.
Yeah.
And then they were saying several people jumped in the middle of it, which is odd. And then the next day you sign a new contract.
Well, I don't think it was the next-
I guess they had that kind of. Well,
It was signed on Sunday. Saturday or Sunday. Supposedly Saturday or Sunday, the new contract was signed.
okay.
It was the final negotiation was last week, and it was signed Saturday or Sunday.
$20 says he signed it as he's walking out.
And that's why the change was made, and that's why he went over. But the contract was supposedly signed. I've heard that it was signed that weekend.
They were saying no one knew in Vince's inner circle who was going to win that match until Roman was in the ring.
Yeah.
They kept that a big secret. They didn't want that to get out for whatever reason, but
I don't think they want to because I think that if you knew Brock resigned before,
You knew he was
you
gonna
knew he
win.
was winning.
Yeah.
Right.
This left it still questionable.
Yeah.
Because it left to the point where, remember, when he won, we're like, how the hell did he win? He's supposedly leaving. Did he resign? Like, even we said it during, I think, even during our afterwards, we're like, did he resign? And we don't not
Right.
know it yet. I mean, this is weird now. How are we going to do
well,
this?
his initial deal was still through it was either April or August. I couldn't remember.
Sure.
But now apparently in the contract there was a clause where he can fight at least one UFC fight under this contract.
Yeah, I saw
so
that.
he's allowed to go and make a fight over there. So he pretty much is owning WWE right now.
Yeah.
I don't know why he has to keep the belt. He's a draw with or without the belt.
Exactly.
It's not the belt that makes the draw. It's the man. And I can't believe I'm about to say this. Hang on. I kind of feel bad for Roman Reigns.
Well, do you think no? Okay.
Oh, wait!
Now-
Don't poo-poo that
No,
statement.
I agree with you. No,
Whoa.
I agree with you. I agree with you because I feel like
Hey, we got to make sure. Yeah.
I completely agree. Now, my thing is he going to get his chance at this greatest Royal Rumble thing? Because they're going to want to do something huge there.
Yeah.
And having this big event in Saudi Arabia and having this 50-man and it's a steel cage match, Roman winning that is huge because it's an event that is not a pay-per-view. It is a network exclusive. So it will draw, it gives them the idea, again, like they used to do the Beast in the East, stuff like that. It's another one of those events where like, no, it's not a pay-per-view. It's not a special, it's a special event. It's only on the network. We're not even talking about it anywhere else.
He almost has to win that, doesn't he?
I think so.
Just for credibility. Like at this point, you can't be the big dog and you're losing all these big matches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
like,
but that's what Cena built himself on.
I think he almost has to win this match.
I mean, think about if Cena hadn't won, all those matches, the big matches. He's
Yeah.
big, yeah, John. I agree. Roman's coming into that position where if he doesn't start winning some of these matches,
yeah.
it's going to start hurting him.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Interesting.
But I agree with you. I kind of
did-
feel bad for Roman Reigns. I completely
Well, I've
agree.
always liked
Not
it.
why I feel bad for Roman Reigns, but continue.
Well,
Please,
why do you
please
feel
continue.
bad for him?
Because rumor has it he found out while he's standing in the ring as Brock Lesnar is coming down. That's why
Well,
I
I
feel
mean,
bad for
well,
him. Because it's like you sign Brock Lesnar to another contract and you keep it a secret. I kind of understand that. I get it. But if you don't respect me enough to tell me before I go to the frickin' middle of the ring at the grandest stage of them all and say, that's a Vince McMahon thing. And this is, I know that we're marks and I know wrestlers who listen to this say, you don't understand how it works. I understand how leadership works. And that's where Vince needed to walk up to Roman and say, look, I mean, talk to you. This is going to happen. Now, if that happened, kudos to you, Vince. But the stories that I'm hearing, that did not happen.
Or was this a test for Roman? As in, all right, we're going to tell him in the ring, see how he reacts. See how he reacts when he comes in the back. See how he did. Like, they're looking for
the intangibles.
Yeah, they're looking for that guy to take over Cena's spot. And Cena's, in the past, Cena's done the same thing where Cena's been told last minute, oh, by the way, you're losing. And he goes, all right, well, it's whatever best. And I think they're looking for that person. So I think maybe that was part of it, is they were testing Roman to say, okay, fine, let's see how he reacts. And we tell him very last minute, you're not winning tonight.
It's crazy.
So if he comes in the back and goes, that was a great match, I'm just happy we had a good time, they know they've got that guy.
Yeah.
And Vince is not above playing mind games like that in every way.
That's tragic. True. That's tragic.
All right.
Moving on.
The other big thing was Paige comes out on Raw after her match and gives a hugely emotional speech.
Yeah.
An amazing speech where she was breaking down. You could see it in her face.
Oh, yeah. She was shaking.
She was shaking. She talked about this was her house. You felt bad for her. You were just like, oh my God, this is amazing. And you're like, oh, she's like, I got to move on. I got to leave for the WWE. I got to leave and find my next thing.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, oh, she's going into the Hall of Fame next year. And literally, these are the notes I'm writing on Raw.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, this is really sad. I can't wait to see her on the Hall of Fame next year. She's going in instantaneously.
Something's going in.
And then SmackDown happens. In the first segment, she comes out the new SmackDown GM. I'm like, wait a minute, what just happened?
She said, I'm back. And I'm like, you never left.
I'm like, it was 24 hours ago. It was less than 24 hours ago. You were in the ring talking about how you're leaving to find your next thing.
I honestly don't think she knew she was going to be the GM.
I don't think she did
when she
either.
Gave that speech.
I don't think she did either. My wife is in the kitchen. And she heard that and she screamed. She's real excited. And I'm like, why are you excited? She's like, they put a woman in leadership. I'm like, Stephanie McMahon. She's like, oh, whoa, yeah.
Shit, well, she owns the place. That doesn't count.
Like, okay, whatever.
Vicky
Guerrero.
Yeah. I mean, we had him before, but
yeah. So I think it's great.
I think it's awesome. I think it's really fun.
Has
some interesting potential.
She
the
got
chemistry will be key to that working. How her and Shane can play off of each other.
Yeah,
I'm curious to see how that's going to work.
Yeah, I mean, it was because obviously Daniel is now full time.
Yep,
which is exciting.
Very good.
Which we didn't think he was going to be for a while. We thought he was just going to be sort of like a specialty thing.
No, he wasn't. It was all or nothing.
So I'm excited that.
I was very excited to see how the crowd reacted to the announcement with Paige. They're very excited, and then they start chanting, "It's your house, it's your house." I was like, "That's cool."
Yeah,
I think it's wonderful. And then the snarky bastards are like, "They're only doing that until their movie comes out." And I'm like, if that was the case, who cares?
Yeah.
The GM's
she's earned the right to
she has totally
go out on her own way.
So you know what's going to happen, right? What? If Roberto El Patron comes back, what's going to be on SmackDown.
I think he made the cardinal sin in business.
No showed.
Yeah,
no showed
for a wrestling business.
I think even Vince can't handle that.
I don't think they want that poison in their locker room.
I hope not. He's a dick.
I think even that would be bad for them.
I'd be shocked if they brought him back for the third time.
He's El Ricardo.
And remember, when he left the second time, he was released the first time. The second time he left, he was just a dick.
I mean, there was mutual agreed upon. I guess, he wasn't happy in that little, I don't even remember the name of that group anymore, with him and Sheamus and
League of Nations.
League of Nations, Rusev, and he hated that. And he was he said certain promises were made to him that weren't kept, blah, blah, blah. And
shocker.
But, at least they were mutually agreed to part. And then, but the thing is, like afterwards, he would tweet anti-WWE things
and all the videos
every day. Seemed like I'm like, dude, just if you let one leave, let it go. Like, why are you even thinking about them?
But all right,
we'll see. Should be interesting as hell.
We had Stephanie come out and give a little speech about how she's happy to have Ronda Rousey in the company and how it's awesome. Ronda
that
comes
tank
out
top though.
All right,
I'm still not over the iconic duo. So
calm yourself, boys.
Hey,
calm yourselves.
Before anything, I'm a man first. Just
I
remember.
know. Comes out
It's a
and
man's world.
I love that flip arm bar she does.
That was
Yeah,
awesome.
it is
That's
awesome.
the first time I really saw her. They kept the camera on her long enough to see the full move. It was like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, she went full over and grabbed it. And she didn't lock it in right away, but she had to pull the arm brace off.
Yeah.
But you could see where she could roll it over, flip that over,
Yeah.
lock it in, and just
Years
tap
of
your
practice
ass
for
out.
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was amazing, though. But she looks good in the ring. I want her in a real match now. Like, I want her...
In a real...
The slow build.
Yeah, I want her in a real match now. I'm over this, okay, you give her a tag team match, you're doing these segments, give her somebody, feed her somebody.
I still think she'd be best served being with Stephanie and Trips. Because eventually she's going to need somebody to talk for her.
She'll get there eventually.
But, being in the ring with Stephanie is automatically going to give her the support from the crowd. So I guess that's why they have them in there together.
Right.
So someone's talking and kind of leading the discussion, which would be good.
Well, if Brock is signing a new contract, rumor has it that Paul's signing a new contract. What are the odds that he would put another wrestler in there? I mean,
Yeah,
she's
I think
UFC,
he's-
Brock's UFC.
They should do that.
I think he's signing a new contract to stay with Brock, though. I don't think he wants to do anything more.
That's tragic.
Yeah, I really don't. I don't think it's a matter of they
he
don't want
actually
him.
said he would be open to working with Roman.
Yeah.
So, they came to him and he even said if it made sense for his character, he'd be willing to work with other people. I think the Ryback and Curtis Axel, the fiasco,
That
kind of soured him on that. But
I can see that.
but if it was a big player,
Like Ronda? Yeah.
he would do it.
Then we
Right,
had I'm okay.
Worried about you, pal.
I'm okay.
All right.
I'm
Bronchitis kicking in.
Coughing up a lung.
Yeah,
I know. All right. Then we had Braun Strowman had to give up him and Nicholas
It's so hot.
had to give
The
him
most over person in the locker room.
the Raw tag team titles because Nicholas is a math test.
That was actually pretty
That
funny.
was great. That was the perfect way for him to give up the belt.
Apparently he's in the 4th grade and has a study for a math test.
Yeah, that was
was pretty cool.
awesome. Like that was the best way to end that comedy segment with that.
But when he's old enough, you're gonna get these hands.
15
like,
years, we're going to see that kid again.
That's
Oh, yeah.
awesome. Oh yeah, totally.
Well, yeah, he's the son of a referee, so he's already in the company.
Yeah,
You know that kid's getting his yeah.
as soon as he's able to.
He's getting it now.
Dude,
He's at the performance center.
That's right.
he tagged in at WrestleMania. That place went crazy.
Oh yeah. And you imagine that thing is if he does debut even on NXT, that video is coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Was his dad in the ring? Was his dad the ref on that one?
don't know.
I'm not
His-
sure.
His dad is John Cronell.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't remember
I'm
his
not
last
sure.
name. Is John, his first name is John, but he's a
Yeah.
referee. I want to say that he was the ref in the ring, which would make sense.
Possibly.
But that
Yeah.
was awesome.
Yeah, I don't know.
2 more seats, man. It could have been you.
I know, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know
Story of
them
my
enough
life.
to look at them and say, "Oh, it's him." Like I don't
Yeah.
know him,
Yeah.
and I'm not even sure he's one of the main roster guys. I'm not sure who he is. Like
Black haired guy, right?
I don't know. I don't say I do not know. So,
Yeah.
but we set up like a mini tournament, and the finale is going to be at the Greatest Royal Rumble in Dubai, where
87 belts.
Yeah.
50 wrestlers.
where the team that wins
17
this,
hours.
the team that wins this little thing is going to take on the Ba. And next week we're going to have the finals of the tournament. And I don't even care about the first 2 matches. The first 2 matches were stupid. The Revival versus Hardy and Bray. So we assuming it's Hardy and Bray versus the Bar.
Yeah, I
Maybe.
think that's where we're headed.
Maybe.
You know,
They need to. This is the thing. I mean, it's the definition of insanity. You keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different outcome. Why bring up new talent if you don't put the talent in the position to succeed? Like they really need the Bullet Club, the club. They really need Dash and Wilder.
Yeah.
They really need those guys to be able to be given something because it's just the great thing about these 2 shows were it was completely unexpected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem, my fear is in about another week or
Back to
a month, we'll be like,
predictability
oh,
again.
back to normal.
all right, here we go again. We're back
Yeah.
to the same 7 people. Yay.
I don't doubt it.
I felt bad for Ember. I'm like, I hope that you were done something with because,
Well, that's why I said that first feud when you debut, that sets the tone for the whole year.
right.
So, like I said, they put her in a meaningless first feud. The crowd's gonna be like, she's a
she's a nobody.
She's a
mid
jobber.
Carter.
Yeah.
But if they put her with Alexa, somebody that's on the top right now, then that helps propel her forward.
Think about this. I know you want to keep going. Think about this craziness. So in NXT, at one point, everybody that comes to the main roster probably fought the people who were below them, and then they leapfrogged.
Yeah.
So like Ember Moon probably fought, somebody that wasn't on her level, and then got sent out. Yeah, Ruby Riott, and they got sent to the main roster, and now Ember has to catch up to Ruby.
Liv Morgan,
it's so amazing. And
sometimes also it's not a leapfrog thing. Like with Ember, it was the matter of they couldn't. She was the champion. They needed her to tent pole.
They needed star power.
Yeah, and then,
in NXT to carry the brand.
Joe and Bobby Roode. And even Asuka went through the same thing. Asuka was way ready to come up before she did. It was just they needed her to be the tentpole.
And I can't remember the woman's name, the 4 horsewomen with
Sarah Logan. I mean, not Logan.
No,
the one that just won.
The one that won NXT.
Yeah,
she's freaking crazy. Yeah. She's totally great, man. I totally buy into her.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We didn't talk about NXT. But the maturity as a professional wrestler to sell that arm injury, and never stop selling that arm injury, never stop selling it. That was a great story.
Yeah,
that's why I was so.
That's
excited
what you look for. That's why NXT is winning right now.
Yeah, totally. Sorry, buddy. Go ahead.
No, we had KO and Sammy. It's not my show. It's our show. Don't say.
No, I was talking to him.
I'm like,
what?
KO and Sammy showed up to beg for contracts from Kurt Angle. They had a match to win a contract, entered a no contest because neither of them get up, so they're still full fired.
When's the last time you saw a no contest on Raw?
It's been a long time.
There'll be a tag team.
Where are we going with this? Like,
they're going to be forced to tag together like Sheamus and Cesaro.
KO and Sammy?
At some point, yeah.
But they got to have contracts. Right now, they're nowhere.
Stephanie will get in there somehow.
Yeah, probably.
Because I can't see either one of them going back to SmackDown.
Yeah.
As a singles competitor, and they're definitely not going back together.
No.
So the only way I think they make it on Raw is if they do a favor for Stephanie as a group, or they get in a tournament as a tag team or something.
They both come out wearing masks.
Something.
El Generico.
I was about to say you get El Generico, Kevin Steen.
And the Canadian Kid.
The Canadian Kid.
There you go.
The 246 Canadian Kid.
There we go. So we had some fun on SmackDown too. We had some number 1 contenders set up. And it's sad when I don't get excited about that because if people that have done it before, we have the Usos as number 1 contenders and Randy Orton as number 1 contenders for the U.S. title and the tag team titles, respectively. Don't care.
Randy, I mean, I definitely don't about that. I like the Usos.
I like the Usos too, but
I'm sick of them fighting the New Day.
I'm hoping that there's with the shakeup, there's some new life for them to feud with after this. They need some kind of reinvigoration.
I have a suspicion about that.
All right, we'll talk about that
later.
We also had the first real heel Shinsuke moments. He came out for an interview and with Renee and was basically an asshole.
It was awesome.
I loved
great
every minute of it.
Think about this. When was the last time you thought you would see Shinsuke Nakamura interrupting a match between Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles?
Oh, I know.
In the WWE ring.
It's crazy.
I was thinking about that as I was watching. I was like, I never thought I'd see that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was kind of surreal for me for a minute to see that.
Yeah.
And beat him down. Like came out and really beat both of them down and didn't care.
He looked good.
Yeah.
I mean, killed AJ.
I definitely
destroyed
I'm digging
AJ.
that character a lot more than the other one.
I liked the interview segment with Renee. Where he says, "I lost my temper, I lost control.
I don't know what got into me.
I didn't mean it." And then he winked, and I was like, "Oh, that's funny. That's so funny."
And then when he was pushed.
I can't do it because I'll be.
I
know speak English, and I'm like, oh my god, they went.
Even
there.
the crowd was like, oh,
and walked away.
The crowd was like, can we laugh at that?
Awesome.
What's the? Can we? What just?
Yeah, it was great.
Can you imagine being the guy that writes that and brings that into?
Vince loves that.
I'm sure. I know Vince does because he's a flaming racist. But I mean, you get Shinsuke Nakamura, who literally could, snap your neck off.
Yeah.
Shinsuke, here's what we'd like you to do. We'd like you to kind of play into that you don't speak English.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, why not? It was great. I loved it. It's a great segment.
It's weird because we're probably going to see more of his comedic side as a heel than, than we ever did as a face, which is weird.
Totally. But both shows were good. I enjoyed both shows.
Yeah, Raw was definitely better.
Raw was better. I wanted
Just
more reviews.
for the surprise factor.
Yep.
Just more so than anything. But to see Daniel and AJ in the ring, that gives it elevation.
Daniel looked good though. Daniel looked really good.
Yeah.
Like there was no rust there. That was just pure run.
Scary.
Yeah.
Scary. It's
So
2-3 years off.
Excited about the future.
I'd like to thank the Illuminated Brew Works for your spoonful of sugar from was sent to us from the fine people of Tavor. This is a really good double IPA. If you can find it in your area, get it. It is smooth. It is creamy. It is amazing.
Good stuff.
Make sure you find us over at beersandbodyslams.com. You can find all our show archives. You can also check out our links to amazing sponsors. You can also find us at facebook.com/beersandbodyslams podcast, where you can check out all of our social linky dinks and fun stuff that we put over there. You can find us on the Twitter at Beers Body Slams, because we forgot the A, and we have a burgeoning Instagram account at Beers and Body Slams podcast.
That's right.
Download the Untapped app. You see where you can find a spoonful of sugar in your area. You could follow me at GoodOLJB.
You can follow me at Mr. Fluffy as I make my liver go through a shakeup.
You can follow me because my liver doesn't speak English either at The Irish O'Leary.
Make sure you tune in on Monday. We're going to talk about who we think should move around in the shakeups. Who. Especially considering Monday is the start of the shakeup. It'd be an interesting discussion of who we want to move, why, kind of the reasons why. We'll talk about that.
You got to go.
And then make sure you tune in next Thursday where we'll be talking about the shakeup and who's moved and who stayed and who we think benefited from it and which show got better and which show may have gotten worse. Because every year it seems that way. One show gets better and one show gets worse, I feel like.
Yeah, that's always the case.
Well,
and it seems to be Smackdown all the time.
It's just branding.
Yeah, so as always, make sure you keep your pint glasses full and your body slams stiff.
Go home, Fluffy, you're drunk.
You've been listening to the Beers and Body Slams podcast. Find us online at beersandbodyslams.com and on Facebook at facebook.com/Beers and Body Slams podcast. Until next time.
Have a nice day.